Where KamBrass Quintet. Hi, we are KamBrass Quintet and we're here with Ammann to talk about his piece developments for brass quintet. First of all, Dieter, how are you?
I'm great because I have some wonderful musicians in my dining room, and yeah, the small dog is also here. Let's talk.
Let's go. So we wanted to ask you if you could explain us a little bit about your life and where you're from and which were your starting point with the music,
Okay.
first contact with music.
So I grew up in the same place that we are here in Zofingen. This is a small town in the canton of Aargau in Switzerland, and my birth house is quite 50 meters from here. Yeah. And my father was a teacher for biology and mathematics, but he wanted to be to get professional musician, but his father was against it, and so he had to go to the ETH to study natural science. But he was a fantastic Stegreif pianist, means piano player which you hear something and you can play it by ear. And my brother and me, we were really growing up with this kind of making music. So we were, he played something from the by the radio, and then we had some instruments around us, old trumpets, guitar, a large piano, also a flügel, and a small piano, and an upright piano, and we were playing all the time music together as a trio. And music was always for me kind of fun and kind of relationship to, of course, to the father and to my brother. I studied first Schulmusik, which is kind of music teaching in schools, and I did also some semester in the Swiss jazz school, so I was always kind of going two directions. And afterwards I studied musical theory in the Musikakademie Basel. Then in Basel I was asked whether I would also like to compose a double study as a kind of music theory and composition. And I said, yeah, why not? From then on, from 30 on, I played less concert as a improvising musician or studio musician, or so I never did classical music as a musician, but I played much jazz, funk, free improvised music, and so on. And I got more and more commissions, and so I became slowly kind of a crossfade, slowly a composer.
You were improviser, you were playing the trumpet.
Yeah, but not like you. Not as good.
We have to say that we just listened some videos from yesterday's jam. It was
great.
Really great.
Yeah, you became, as you said, you starting in the composing side, like you became more composer. You had some influences or composers that were important for you, that influenced you?
Of course, I mean, I can't neglect that my long friendship with Wolfgang Riem had an influence. Maybe not, especially not on my music, because Wolfgang's music is very broad, also concerning aesthetics and so. But concerning thinking about what is composition, what can so-called academic music be, also kind of the core of composing music for musicians like you as a composer is the total freedom of thinking. And I guess this was an influence I got from Wolfgang. I was also influenced, of course, by people who teach me, like Miller Siemens, like Roland Moser, like then courses with Lutoslavsky, with Castiglione, with Dieter Schnebel. I met many people who were important, but not in the sense of, oh, I want to write this music. Also, when I should name a favorite composer, what I listen often to it is of course Boulez was also kind of an influence because we work together. But I really like to listen to Ligeti, for example, because I like this kind of also motorical aspect or rhythmical aspect, also with odd meters, with cross rhythms, and so I like music which is not only harmonically and melodically developed, but also in that you feel tempo, you feel maybe even grooves. I mean, not like not like these kind of grooves, but kind of that you experience the time as a structured element, and not only this kind of rubato, which is often in contemporary music was often the case.
I think we can feel perfectly this feeling in your piece, in the development piece, that we are here just for this, because we recorded this piece in our first CD, and we would like to ask you why you choose, or why happens that you compose a first piece for brass quintet.
Yeah.
What happens here?
Also, this was a commission. I guess it was only my second commission, and I felt okay with this because I had some experience as a trumpet player, and I like brass instruments. I guess you hear that also in my orchestral music. I like brass, I like percussion. I don't like only strings. I like them too. Actually, and then my aim was to compose something really demanding, and not kind of a divertimento stuff, because there is plenty of, or there was plenty of music in this genre for ensembles like you are for brass quintet, and it's a piece which is very heavily structured concerning materials. Because the duration and the size of the intervals, for example, are combined in series and so on. But this is not important, because more important is that a musician should not present material, but he should be able to really make speaking music out of it, and that's what I find you are doing wonderfully in your interpretation.
Yes, all right.
Thank you. And this piece is called Developments.
Yeah.
And why this name?
Because everything is developed. I mean, it's an old idea of let's say second half of 20th century, that you everything comes from ex nihilo, from zero. So you have first the totally not shaped noise sound. Then you have kind of shaped noise sounds. Then you have kind of first pitches, but only in a noise form, also the air streams, which is pitched, and then you come in with the first note, and then the single intervals are presented as intervals, the seconds, the thirds, and so on. And then a first phrase emerges, so everything is in stabilos candy and is growing. And in the second part, then I remember after the first half, I mean, I'm a very slow composer. I guess I was like 10 months or a year on this piece. I'd like to make also music which is like so with this 4-3 thing, and that some grooves emerges. So I was really trying out then different things in the second part.
So from developments until today, your way of composition you consider has changed?
Of course. I mean, I can stand behind developments because I find it is a well composed piece. But today I'm even more free in aesthetical thinking. Also, what I don't like is that you take a little bit of jazz and a little bit of whatever folklore and mix it a little bit and say this is my contemporary music, because I find contemporary music has only one legitimation, and the legitimation is that you can present to some interested listeners interpreters first and then listeners, that you don't get all day when you put on the radio or so. So a good contemporary music, of course, should be in a kind of entertaining also, but not only be entertainment, but it should be also a challenge for interested listeners, so that he really has to bother what is happening here, and also maybe to search his own way of finding kind of access to it. So because when you challenge the listener, then you encourage him also to grow, to developments.
Yeah. Yeah, we can say you challenge the listener and also you challenge the musician.
I like to challenge the musicians because I like also virtuosity, technical handcraftsmanship, when it's not only by itself as a self-reference. Of course, it must make a broader sense in a musical in the musical context. But virtuosity is something which is fantastic, which is also attractive.
You also have a teaching side, no? Actually, you were students in the Hochschule für Musik Luzern. How you see the new generations?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, you were absolutely easy to handle because you have great creativity. All 5 of you had really, you wrote good arrangements, and it was a pleasure. It's not always a pleasure to teach, because when it's not a topic like mathematics or so, or physics, where you can say this is really true, this is right, correct, this is not correct. So first, I guess that you will always have a certain amount of people who are really talented, because without talent you cannot compose, or you cannot come to a high level of playing an instrument, and then on top of this talent, then the whole work and the whole knowledge and the whole things that you have to learn comes on top of it. And I guess as long as there is musical talent in also in younger generations, I'm not feared about. I'm a little bit concerned how our societies are developing, because a TikTok video is like 30 seconds long, and so, and you feel it that people are maybe the tendency is that people are getting lazy intellectually, and they really want to have things which are common to them, which they don't have to engage too much in order to get something out of it. And so we have to pay attention that we really stay awake.
Do you like to teach?
Absolutely, as I hope that you felt that I like it. Because this was also the reason why I went for my first studies in Schulmusik, because I wanted to combine music with teaching. My father was also a teacher. My brother is now retired since 2 months or so. He's also a teacher. He was also a teacher for French and Italian music. And so I guess when you are able to communicate and to feel empathy for people, it's easier to teach than when you only teach based on, because you know in one topic or so many things. Because to know things is one thing, but to give them on to other people is, I guess it's also a little bit a talent.
I don't know if you knew it, but the name of our CD would be Development.
That's fantastic, and it's also it's a sign of growing, of everything, which I'm sure you will have really good days before you, and you are developing all the time. You have a very, very high standard, but of course the daily work is necessary also to grow together even more. And I find that a good motto also for the recording and for your professional career, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the chat.
Is that enough?
Yeah.
I think we have
I think we have
enough material.
Yeah.
And then something.